Hello, my name is Jasmine Woodard with NACE, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, NACE25 Know Before You Go. We encourage you to actively participate in the chat and please post your questions in the Q&A. It is my pleasure to introduce Rashonda Legault, Director of Education and Events for NACE. Take it away, Rashonda.
This is awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. We are super excited that so many of you all have showed up. I'm watching these numbers pile up. So welcome you all to the Know Before You Go webinar. NACE25 is almost here. I'm going to go really quickly through all the items we're going to cover in today's webinar, and then we'll get started. So first, we'll introduce the team. Then we'll talk about location. Where are you guys going? Where do you need to be and when do you need to be there? Important things that you just need to know in general about the conference experience. I'll quickly run through the mobile app, which fingers crossed will launch tomorrow. We'll talk about some key activities, make sure you guys know things that you should be on the lookout for. We've got several takeaways. And then we have our partner in crime here, Campus Philly, who is going to give you guys everything you need to know about welcoming you and bringing you to Philadelphia. And now we'll just get started. Again, I'm Rashonda. Nice to meet everyone. Our colleague Caroline will be here shortly. So I'm going to hand it over to Ray, who can introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Ray Rogers. I'm the Director of Career Services at Texas State, and I'm one of the 3 co-chairs for the conference committee.
Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jasmine Senior Bostic. I lead EOP and DEI programs at STV in Philadelphia.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we will do a more formal introduction to our partner, Jen, who is the president of Campus Philly in a few minutes. All right. So where are you guys going? I hope by now everyone knows that the conference is in Philadelphia. If you don't, we should probably have a side conversation at another day and another time. But we are going to be at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. This is a picture of the outside of the convention center, super urban, downtown environment. It's awesome. It's actually a really pretty site. This is the entryway. So you saw the outside, this is the inside. This is really important to know. You are all entering through the Broad Street entrance. That is like, it's super critical. That is when you know you're in the right place, is when you have like entered on Broad Street. It is across from the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. So if you really just kind of like want to know exactly where you need to go, Google Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, and it is directly across the street. Once you get in, again, this is an image of the lobby. The registration will be right there. So that blue carpeted space is where we'll have everything you need to just like check in and start your conference experience. So it'll be really easy to navigate. And then the conference is on 3 different levels of the convention center. So the first level is the main registration area, the blue carpeted area I just mentioned a few seconds ago. Almost all of the concurrents, I think we have about 15, 16 concurrents at a time. So of those 15, they're pretty much all happening on that first floor. So if you're looking for the education, pretty much think I need to be on the first floor. The second level is our expo hall. That is just it's going to be so cool. I'm really excited for everyone to see it. But that's where our sponsors and our partners and our vendors are all set up to give you guys just an amazing one-time experience. And then the fourth level is where we have our main stage. Some people may refer to it as a general session, but that's where we bring everybody together. We do NACE business. We have our keynotes, those sorts of things. It's also where we'll be holding our first timer session, and that'll be in the Terrace Ballroom on the 4th floor. All right, Ray's going to tell us a little bit more about NACE25.
Yeah, so I know a lot of y'all may have been to a NACE conference before. For some, this is maybe your first time, and maybe it's your first time going to a large national conference. Big thing to know, this is a pretty good sized conference. NACE is always pretty big, this one in particular. We've got over 2,200 attendees that we anticipate attending, and that's made up of a variety of folks. So Majority are career services, about 55% are career services folks coming from colleges or universities in some way work and support career development on a college campus. 28% are represent the employers who are coming to look and partner there. And then 17% are our business affiliates. We also will have several exhibitors there, which we can talk a little bit more about what that's going to look like later. I also want to talk a little bit about why NACE25. I was thinking back when I had first gotten to become co-chair for the conference committee. My first NACE was in '99, I want to say, 1999, if y'all remember back then. And I'm pretty sure that was the year that it was in Vegas. I know I was at Vegas and we hadn't switched over yet to doing NACE conferences every year. So it was a really big deal to get to go, because if you missed that year, you were going to be waiting a couple years. But one of the things that I really remember getting out of that as a new person in the profession was just getting to meet these colleagues from all over the country, learning about their perspectives, and understanding that I wasn't really alone in my challenges, and there were a lot of people out there who had similar challenges as well. And actually finding a lot of support was probably the best thing that I got out of it. And this NACE conference is going to be no different, given the size and the fact that we've got so many people coming from all over the place. Great opportunity for that. So exchanging ideas with our colleagues, identifying and exploring new resources. I encourage everyone to go to the exhibit hall. We kind of make sure you're going to be at the exhibit hall. We put food and events and things in there to make sure that y'all are all part of that. But meeting with our exhibitors that are there, learning about some of the different products and resources. I've had some of my best conversations just walking by and striking up a conversation. These are folks who go and work in our profession as well. They go to many of our campuses, got some really good insight from them. So that's another great reason to go ahead and attend. And I would also just say, discover Philly for the first time. I want to say this is maybe going to be my third time there, but it's been a while. So I'm going to put myself under the rediscover Philly category for that. I also want to talk a little bit about what you may want to expect. So registration or check-in, we're at the registration desk. Satellite registration is going to be on Sunday. This is a smaller scaled down version of registration. So if you get there on Sunday, you want to check in and get your name badge. That's what that's for. That'll be housed at the Marriott lobby from 2 to 5. The main check-in, though, where I think most people are going to go, is actually going to be back in the convention center, as Rashonda had mentioned before and showed the picture of that right inside there in the lobby. And that's going to be from 7 to 5:30 on Monday. Now, everyone's showing up and is probably going to be doing most of the checking in for registration Monday morning. So, you know, just plan. It's going to take a little bit of time if you try to check in before 2 o'clock, probably, because that's when most people are there. But it's the first thing you need to do. We need you to have your name badge. You'll pick that up there so that you can get into the different NACE events, and plus so we can see who you are. There will be a NACE help desk next to the check-in, close to that, so that you would be able to go up and ask some questions there. The NACE staff will be there, very friendly folks, as you can see, and know pretty much everything you're going to need to know about where to go and how things are working there. I also want to say, for your name badge, we're going to have ribbons this year. The NACE staff got some really cool ribbons. So this has sort of become more and more fun. So you can kind of personalize your name badge with that. I will also say that be sure to have your name badge on, especially for our closing event. They're going to require to see everyone's name badge to get into the closing event Wednesday evening. So make sure you have it for that. And then we are including drink tickets. There's a drink ticket for the opening event on Monday that you're going to get at check-in also. And then this was my idea to include. I wanted to talk about food because I had questions, not that only because I enjoy eating, but this is a thing that is challenging when you're trying to put your budget together and schedule and get there. So I just wanted to go over that so everyone kind of knows what to expect. How much food is there? What's a meal? What's not going to be a meal? And how will all that work? So first thing I want to say is for those of you who are on a per diem where you have to identify these are the meals that are provided at the conference, there's really only 2 full-fledged meals that are going to be there. That is going to be lunch on Tuesday and lunch on Wednesday. So those are there, and that's what I've gone ahead and included on my per diem. But that is not to say that is all the food that's going to be there. And so I say that those are the only meals, but also I know that a lot of folks go there and during our receptions, like the Monday evening reception, there's going to be hors d'oeuvres. Certainly the evening reception on Wednesday at Reading Station, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Lots of food, lots of vendors there, but I don't know I would include that as a full meal. You may want to go out and have dinner that night as well, separately from that, but I know there's a lot of folks there who are going to make that their meal too. So just to go through that on Monday, lunch is going to be on your own. We recommend checking out the Reading Terminal Market. There will be an opening reception that night with hors d'oeuvres, and remember you'll have a drink ticket for that also. Tuesday morning, there's going to be beverage service, morning tea, coffee and tea is there. There will be lunch provided on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, there'll be another beverage service. Lunch will be provided there. And then Wednesday, the evening, the closing reception. Last thing I wanted to share a little bit about was the conference attire. This is a question that I think a lot of folks have, especially coming the first time in career services. We're a little more dressy, so you don't really know what is appropriate at the conference. You see people wearing all different kinds. Some are very formal and come in suit and jacket. Others a little more casual. I would recommend just wearing your business casual with your own personal flair. There are no events during NACE where it is going to be a themed night where you need to bring anything specific or special. But for our closing event on Wednesday evening, that's fine if you want to wear jeans or a sundress or something like that, because it's going to be sort of a summertime out theme for that.
Thank you. All right. I did just buy my Reading Terminal closing reception outfit. So look for me to see what I have on. It will be linen because it's always linen. So there we go. All right. Mobile app. So hopefully everyone's really excited about the mobile app. You guys, we are working so hard to make this thing live tomorrow. I am very optimistic it will be live tomorrow. Maybe 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, but we are working really hard to get that mobile app live tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. If you've used our app before, it's better. And if you haven't used our previous app, well, then you're lucky because this one's really, really good. So I just want to highlight a couple things and a couple features to pay attention to. We will send out an email as soon as it's ready to go live with the instructions on how to log in. If you are a previous speaker or have used our Cadmium speaker management system, you will already have an account and it will ask you to log in. And it's okay. You can prompt the system to get another password if you forget my password if you can't remember what it is. So again, we'll send out the instructions. It'll tell you how to get into it. And then here's what to expect like in the app. So this is a screenshot of what the app looks like. And what some of the features it'll have, you will be able to review all of the programs, all of the events, offsite, not offsite. There's going to be a star button next to each activity. You click on the star and that saves it. So you're favoriting whatever that activity is. And when you save it, it saves to the My Schedule. So then that way you kind of have a list of everything that you're interested in. It doesn't reserve anything. This is just you keeping track of your own stuff. You can also take whatever you save as a favorite. You can export as an ICS file into Outlook, Gmail, whatever it is that you use. Super, super cool. Every presenter that's submitted their presentations, you'll see a handout. You'll be able to take notes on the handout and then export those notes to yourself. Super, super cool. And then you'll be able to search for other attendees. You'll be able to scan a QR code so that you can make quick connections. And then a couple other things, update your profile. So you'll be able to update your profile on your own as soon as you get into the app, so don't worry. And then you can, we'll have a little an internal app social engagement piece too. So you can go in, and I was testing it out with pictures of my wallpaper the other day. You can test it out however you want. And again, we're hoping everything goes live tomorrow. And stay tuned for more information.
Rashonda, there's just a quick question. Are you able to share what platform the app is on so that when
Yes.
people go to search?
Yes, Event Scribe. It's not live yet though, so you won't be able to find it, but you'll go to like Event Scribe and then you'll put in NACE25.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, couple more things, key activities. These are things that you are must to put on your schedule. You want to take it over, Ray?
Yeah. So, and Jasmine and I can both sort of take this because your conference committee has been working very hard also to try to come up with some new and fun, exciting things. So there's a lot of one-offs here. And I first want to say that while this conference can be kind of overwhelming, you don't have to feel like you have to do everything, but we do want you to be aware of all the cool stuff because don't want to miss out on some of these things. It could have been the coolest part of your conference. So the first thing we'll talk about is the employer and college tours that are occurring. Jasmine, do you want to add a little bit about those?
Absolutely. So as an anecdotal activity on the first day of conference, we have employer tours. And so we'll be featuring Five Below, Saxby's, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Phillies, and also Campbell's Soup in New Jersey, and right across the bridge in Camden, New Jersey, as well as Drexel University and Pierce College. So if you have not signed up for those employer or college tours, please do so. You should have found it in the outreach from the NACE committee, but it really is giving a behind the scenes look. We also have Comcast. I apologize for missing that. Comcast NBC Universal is opening their doors as an employer tour as well. So if you have not signed up for those already, we encourage you to do so. And then also the first timer event, I'll turn it back over to Ray to talk about what the conference committee has planned for that. How many first timers on the call? If you could raise your hand or react in the chat.
It's a lot of y'all because I know that when we have our first timer sessions, oh, look at all that. Yeah.
Awesome. So it looks like 67 people out of 155 on the call are first timers. So we're excited to have you.
So for you first timers, just because we want you to learn a little bit more about NACE, about what to expect at the conference, get to know Philly a little bit too, we host what we call first timers sessions. So you'll see these on the schedule. This again is Monday, June 9th. We will offer our first one at 10:45. It goes for an hour and 15 minutes. I'll go from 10:45 to noon. And then the second one is held from 1 to 2:15. So for those of y'all who get in a little bit later, that second one might be your better option. These are very well attended. We are doing 2 of these because they've become so large. We expect about 400, maybe 500 folks during each session. Don't let that overwhelm you though, because we break it down. You're sitting at round tables with some people that you're going to get to meet, and we will go over all the things that you want to know about NACE and the conference and how it works and why different people have different color name badges. There's going to be some fun games, some prizes to win. And Enterprise Mobility will be there also with some giveaways as they are our sponsor for this event. The other thing that we are looking to do later that evening is what we call Newbie Night Out. And that is a separate event that you can register for. There is a fee attached to that, but it is a way to kind of go do something different after most of the big events, after the keynote has ended that evening and the opening reception. Go to Putt Shack, and this is going to be an event where you can go in and we'll be there to sort of help form teams if you want to go play putt-putt in groups through there. There's a picture of it there that you can see. It's a super cool space. But we're also going to have some food and beverages. We're going to have some other games so that if you didn't want to go putt-putt, you could just sort of hang out there in some groups there and get to know some folks there. Again, there is a price for that. Rashonda, I can't remember what it was.
$30.
$30, I want to say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we want to thank Jasmine's group for sponsoring that event well. Thank you for that and making that cost a little bit better for us.
Thank you.
Our next events we're going to have, don't forget, there are affinity group meetups. Most of those will be happening early on that first day. So just look at your schedule for the different affinity groups that are there. We have some really cool main stage sessions also. There are 3, one on each day, and you can read a little bit more about our presenters there. But this is a time when really everyone at the conference can come together, and it is so exciting on Monday evening when everyone first gets there and you look around and you just see how many people, how many of your colleagues are there. Super cool evening event there. Expo party in the park. That'll be that right following that. That'll be our opening event. I've already talked about the Newbie Night Out that will be happening that same evening as well. Anything we want to say, Rashonda, about the Phillies game other than I think maybe it's sold out already?
Sorry, it's sold out. This is a new thing. We did it last year when we were in Arizona. So I anticipate if there's a Rockies, I think is the team in Denver. So if they're having a game at the same time next year, we'll continue to do these. But yeah, you can still purchase your own tickets. You can still ride over with your friends and that sort of thing if you're interested, but just not through NACE.
And again, I encourage all, you see the exhibit hall exploration listed there as well. So important to go do. But again, I have really found some great stuff there. And I know a lot of y'all might be going like, well, I'm not the decision maker. I don't get to decide if we get to bring these folks in or not. I think it's super helpful. And speaking as the lead for our office, I love it when our staff go find some of these really cool new resources, bring them to me, and we can all talk together about, is this something that we are ready to explore, want to do a demo with? But I've just had some of the best conversations about career development and new employee hiring with some of our exhibitors, because they're out there in the fields doing a lot of the same work that we're doing, yet they're going all over the country. They can bring different examples in. So use that exhibit hall and spend some time there exploring. Sunset Social at Reading Terminal. I don't know. I think probably Rashonda or Jasmine better to talk about it than I am. Not a Philly person, but yet I will be. Maybe y'all want to share a little bit more about that exciting event to close us out.
I don't want to steal Jen's thunder from Campus Philly, but Reading Terminal is in the center of our city. It's where I would just tell you the best advice that I have is to bring your appetite. It's where small business owners who are serving up different kinds of foods, it's our Philly flavor on display. So I'd encourage you all just to bring your appetites. You'll have over 40 vendors to choose from. It's a tremendous activity that the NACE team has planned. And so that's the Sunset Social at the Reading Terminal.
We're excited. It's a little something for everyone. I don't want to give away like too many surprises, but if you like dancing and you like live music, check. If you like not doing that and doing other things, like I can give you guys a hint. There will be a whiskey tasting. Okay, that's it. That's all the good you guys get from me. But that will be available. So get there early. Yeah, we're just really excited. So, all right. And I think we've got one more. This is just, we wanted to show a picture of the vibe. This is the vibe we're creating. It's such an awesome, unique venue. So enough said about that. Last slide for us.
Last slide. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Jasmine.
All right, so just key takeaways. So what we want you to take away from this conversation today before we turn it over to Jen Kibia from Campus Philly is wear your badge inside the Philadelphia Convention Center, but not to and from your hotel. So just making sure that your name, your company, all your personal information isn't displayed while you're walking around Philadelphia. Don't forget to add your ribbon. So at the bottom of your badge, there's going to be an opportunity at registration to grab as many ribbons. So if you have been at NACE, coming to the NACE conference since 99 like Ray, or the early 2000s like myself, like make sure that you get your ribbons. If you're a first timer, add that. Any affinity groups that you would like to associate with, definitely include that on your badge. Plan ahead. So you'll be in downtown Philadelphia, so there will be walking traffic, but also vehicular traffic. So just make sure that you plan ahead to get to the sessions on time. Immerse yourself in the experience in Philadelphia, in the knowledge. I know that the market and the world has a lot of changes right now. So just making sure that you are listening to the information and also meeting people. I wanted to shout out Dan Pugh from Glasgow, Scotland on the chat right now, and also Jacqueline Jacobs from Abu Dhabi. I think as you think about your network and how expansive it can be, just making sure you're using the mobile app to connect with people, grow your network, and then follow up. And then just shameless plug, bring snacks. I always like to have snacks in my bag. I know Ray talked about food at the conference, but just make sure that you have snacks throughout the day, and comfy shoes first and foremost. So if it goes with your business casual attire, I saw the California crew in the chat talking about what business casual looks like to them, but just make sure that you wear comfy shoes and have the best time ever. The only thing I'll share is just if you all could, as a call to action, just update on your LinkedIn throughout your networks that you're attending the NACE conference. Just share that excitement on your LinkedIn networks or on social media, just to get people jazzed up for the conference. And we're excited to see you today. We have 160 attendees on this call, and just excited for, I think, the 2,000 additional people that'll actually be at the conference. So I'll pause just to see if there's any questions before we move on to our partners at Campus Philly.
There's a couple that I can answer really quickly that have popped up. Do you have to reserve a seat in the sessions? You do not. When you click that star that says favorite, you're just reminding yourself that this is where you want to be. You can favorite more than one thing at a time. Do not worry. Nothing's reserved. First come, first serve. Someone who has an eagle eye noticed that there was a grim walking tour on that PDF schedule that we have posted on the NACE25 microsite. That is actually a little bit outdated. We're not going to do the grim walking tour, but we are getting ready to launch a President James Madison historical walking tour, something along those lines. That should be launched later on this week, and that'll be Tuesday night. That'll be a Tuesday night activity with a very, very nominal additional fee. What else are these other questions? I will drop the links to the conference and employer tours as soon as I get done catching up with you guys or giving you guys the answers to the questions. So just hold tight on those. All of the app questions, we will have, everything should be really clear when we send out that communication tomorrow that says, like how to access it. Once you get in, I promise you, it is super, super intuitive. So getting your ICS file, it just says like literally export to like calendar or schedule or something like that. So I promise you it'll be easy. And if not, then you can follow up with us and we will give you even clearer instructions. So don't worry about that. There will be internet. There will not be high speed internet, but there is internet, yes.
And that is free inside the conference center.
Yes. And I think I tackled all the questions. Several people have asked about the access code for the conference planner website. The conference planner website and the mobile app are basically like one and the same. So when you create your login for your mobile app, that's when you'll get your access code that you can also use for the conference planner website. So we just want you to create one logon at one time when we know that kind of everything's in a really good place for you all to start to add these things to your schedule. So, so you'll just have to hold tight for like another 24 hours or so, and then you'll get your code. All right, I think that's it for the questions. If you have more, just keep putting them in the Q&A and I'll just keep answering them in the chat.
Awesome. So we have a special guest here with us today. I'd love to introduce Jen Kibia, who is from Campus Philly. Campus Philly is an organization that was founded in 2004 in Philadelphia. So they've just celebrated their 20th anniversary. The organization was founded to retain talent in Philadelphia. So if you all are not familiar with Philly, we have over 100 plus colleges and universities in our backyard in the tri-state area. And so there was a problem with retention of talent in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so Campus Philly was created to really partner with students and organizations to have personal professional events. And so they've helped us tremendously with our pipelines in Philadelphia, but also to retain talent and keep our students abreast of what's happening in the city. And so without further ado, Jen, I'll pass to you.
Jasmine, thank you so much for that warm welcome. And Jasmine is an esteemed board member of Campus Philly, so thank you for all your service to us as well. I'm so excited to be supporting NACE this year and to welcome 2,200 people to Philadelphia. As Jasmine mentioned, Campus Philly is all about retaining talent in Greater Philadelphia, and we do that by showcasing the tremendous assets that our region has to offer. So when we heard that NACE was coming to Philadelphia, we certainly thought we can share all of those incredible resources with visitors who will be talking to college students across the country and who are working in different employment sectors across the country, so that you know what's going on here. And hopefully you'll come back to visit and consider to come here to work and live for sure. So we're going to run through some slides. Some of this is interactive, and I know that we don't have the ability to talk to one another, but we'll use some of the functionality of Zoom here for sure. Just want to share a couple slides about our team at Campus Philly, because you'll see a lot of us throughout the conference. We will be exhibitors. You might see us on an employer tour, and you'll certainly see me throughout the conference as an attendee. But here we all are. So feel free to stop any of us throughout the conference. Several of us will be there, and we certainly can answer your questions about Philadelphia, about Campus Philly, where to get something to eat, how to use SEPTA, all of that, which we're going to cover today. But know that this is a group of friendly faces that can be additional resources in addition to all of your NACE contacts while you're at the conference. So quickly, I thought we could play a little game. And before we even get started, just to get a sense of who is in the room, if you could give a heart emoji, this is going to be your first time in Philadelphia. We are the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. I'm seeing all the hearts come. Wow, so a lot of hearts. All right. And then how about a thumbs up if you call Philly or the Greater Philadelphia region home? Here we go. That's great. So a fair amount of locals as well. So the locals, you probably will know the answers to these questions. I'm going to ask you not to answer them and spoil them for our guests who are visiting for the first time, or maybe not the first time, but coming into the region in a while. A couple questions just for fun. What is Elfreth's Alley? You can put it right in the chat. That would be really helpful. What's Elfreth's Alley? See if anybody has the answer. The oldest, thank God for Google, right? The oldest residential street in the US. Yes, it is absolutely the longest occupied street in the United States. And you can go visit it. It's incredibly picturesque. It's in our Old City neighborhood, which we'll talk about in a moment. And that certainly can be a fun place to go see. If someone says to you that they want a whiz wit, what does that mean? What are they ordering? Cheesesteak, cheese, we're seeing that for sure. Absolutely. It's a cheesesteak, and it's containing cheese whiz, which is that orange stuff, and onions. If you're not a fan of onions, you certainly can order whiz without, or if you want American cheese, you could say American wit without when you order your cheesesteaks. Very Philadelphia thing. What's water ice? Or as perhaps we say it in Philly, water ice. I'm seeing snow cone. Yeah, Italian ice. That's what a lot of people call it across the country. That's exactly right. You can find it, nationally at chains like Rita's, but here in Philly, you might want to go visit John's Water Ice or Esposito's in South Philly. When you're at Reading Terminal, there'll be some opportunities to try some water ice as well. So this word up here, this is a hard one to say, Schuylkill. You may have heard it in a couple contexts in Philadelphia. It's the name of a river that runs through our city. It's also the name of the Expressway 76 that runs through the city. What does it mean? Does anybody know what Schuylkill means? Oh, we've got a lot of smart people in here. Hidden river, and it's Dutch. It's a Dutch word for hidden river. So the Schuylkill, it's a hard one to say, and it absolutely does mean hidden river. And you'll see it. It's not very hidden. It runs right through the city. All right, now this word, use. It's a pronoun. What does that mean? Use is y'all. Someone just put that in the chat. Yeah, it means you guys. My husband is from South Philly. He says this all the time, and he used to actually spell it when he was writing. We had to work that out of him. But it does mean plural, you, usually more than one, like y'all or you guys for sure. Lastly, how about a hoagie? If we say we're having a hoagie, what are we talking about? A sandwich, a sub. Yes, 100%. In Philly, we've got some great hoagies for sure. And if you're a Wawa fan, and if you grew up in this region, you probably have a hoagie order lockdown that you know is your favorite order when you go into a Wawa. So feel free to enter your favorite Wawa orders into the chat while we're going through for sure. A couple other words just to know. This Schuylkill we talked about. Conshohocken, that's actually my hometown. It's a little town just outside of Philadelphia, and Ballackinwood is the other one we have up here. Then we've got our mascots here. I'd love for you guys to name these folks in the chat. Who's the big orange guy? Gritty, absolutely. That is Gritty. He is for our Philadelphia Flyers. You know, he emerged just a few years ago, and we all thought he was kind of weird just for the first couple weeks. But then America thought he was weird, and we got very protective. And so he is beloved in Philadelphia, and we are all Gritty fans. How about the eagle there with the jersey on? Who is he? Anybody know who he is? Swoop, we got a Swoop answer. Absolutely. He is our Eagles, our Philadelphia Eagles, our football team. He's our mascot for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right. This one might be a little hard. Philadelphia Union. Who is that guy with the mohawk? Anybody know? Philadelphia Union is soccer here in Philadelphia. We are very excited to be one of the host cities for World Cup in 2026. So we're getting excited for all of that. Fang, but yep, it's Fang, but it's, you got it, Phang. When we have the opportunity to swap an F out for a PH, we do that in Philadelphia. And so that is absolutely Fang. And then the last guy, who is he? Many of you are going to get to meet him. He is our Philly fanatic, absolutely. And so he is for our Philadelphia Phillies. You'll see him down at the ballpark. All right, thanks for playing that game with me. I have one more for you before we move into some content. Just a couple iconic statues here in Philadelphia, and they're close by where you'll be for the conference and while you're exploring the city. Oop, I don't know why that just switched on me. Let me jump back here. Can anybody name any of these? Go ahead and type in if you know the answer. Rocky, of course. Yes, Rocky is down here in the bottom left, right outside the Art Museum. If you have the opportunity, go run up those steps. You'll see him right at the base there. There's a great gift shop there for him as well. We don't have the Liberty Bell on this sheet of 6 here, but you can see the Liberty Bell while you're here, absolutely, down at Independence Mall. The Thinker is right outside Rodin. He's the guy in the middle and the bottom here. Up on the top left, that's actually George Washington. You'll see that at Eakins Oval. Down on the bottom right, that is a statue called Freedom, and that is right at 16th and Vine. The statue, the gold statue, that's Joan of Arc, and you'll see Joan if you are anywhere near the Kelly Drive. She's back at Kelly Drive. And then the clothespin, it's actually called the clothespin. It's very tall. It's over 40 feet tall. It's right across from City Hall. You can't miss it. It's pretty iconic. So Philadelphia is absolutely known for our street art, whether it is murals or different statues like these. You'll see it throughout the city, and we hope you enjoy it while you're here. Love Park is, I'm looking at the comments. Love Park's another great place to go and take some pictures next to that iconic statue. All right, so I want to get into the ins and outs of resources Campus Philly has available to help make your visit to Philadelphia as smooth as possible. We produce so many resources for college students and recent grads to help them get acclimated to the city, but they are completely usable by you as well. So check out our guide to Philly. You can scan it right there if you want to access it now. It has the rundown of every neighborhood that you may want to visit while you're here, with recommendations on places to go to eat, things to see, things to do, and the way to get there, how to use SEPTA, our public transit system, while you're here. And I will say, we have a SEPTA slide in a moment, but SEPTA is easier to use than ever. So I hope that you'll take advantage of that system while you're here in Philadelphia. But definitely, if you have the opportunity, check out our guide to Philly. So many great recommendations in there. And know that Philadelphia is a food city. I heard that you're going to visit Reading Terminal Market. You can try just about every flavor of Philadelphia and frankly the world while you're there, which is so exciting to see all of that. But here's just some shots of things that are well known here. We've got our cheesesteaks, we've got our water ice. Campus Philly's got lots of recommendations throughout that guide to Philly. If you're looking for something specific, we probably have it. We really are well known for our food and culture here. And then if you're thinking about something to do this weekend, maybe you're coming in a few days early, maybe you're staying a couple days late, feel free to check out our events calendar on Campus Philly's website. It all integrates with our guide to Philly, and you can find different things to do across neighborhoods in Greater Philadelphia. And you can also visit our friends at the Visit Philly, really to find out different things that are happening in and around where you'll be staying while you're there. But just another resource from Campus Philly. One more resource is our guide to goods. It is a resource for shopping local, shopping small. So if you want a unique souvenir while you're here in Greater Philadelphia, in Philadelphia specifically, check out this guide. It features minority-owned, women-owned, LGBTQ-owned businesses, just small local businesses here in Greater Philadelphia. And you can check that out and make sure you patronize some of those folks while you're here. Now, Philly is a city of neighborhoods, and while you're here at the conference at the Convention Center, you will be mainly in Center City, but many of you will have the opportunity to go to South Philadelphia to visit the stadiums. If you're going on one of our employer tours, you may actually venture a little bit more into University City or West Philadelphia, but know that really all of these neighborhoods have a unique flair and flavor, and if there's something that you're interested in seeing, it's all really easy to navigate using our public transit system, and that is SEPTA. And so I want to make sure I provide a little bit of information on SEPTA here. Now, our city is organized on a grid, which makes it incredibly easy to walk, but it also makes it really easy to use our public transit system as well. Everything has just had a refresh in name and in branding. So for even some of the locals, this may be new to you. But just to highlight a couple of these things, where you'll be is actually the blue dot where you see where it says Reading Terminal Market. The convention center is right there. So figure that's about where you are for the conference. You have access to all of these different transit lines. The blue line is the L. It's our elevated train that will run you all the way out to West Philly. It'll take you actually all the way north too. The yellow line there, that orangey yellow line, is the B, the Broad Street line. That will go north to south. And if you're going to go to the stadiums, you can ride the Broad Street line all the way down there. And then you also have all the trolley lines, the T, those are the green lines, and they can take you out further into University City and all the neighborhoods. There's also a whole system of buses. The red line is the PATCO line. If you're going over to New Jersey and maybe you're going to visit Campbell's, which is one of the employer tours, you can take that right over there as well. The neat thing about SEPTA is it is just totally touchless entry at this point in time. You can tap your phone and use Apple Pay or any other payment system you have loaded onto your phone, or if you have a SEPTA key card, you can use that as well. But it really aims to be a seamless mode of transit here in Greater Philadelphia. Okay, I want to go through a couple different neighborhoods that you'll see. We highlight all of these in our guide to Philly, but you're going to be in Center City. So walkable to you are neighborhoods and micro neighborhoods listed here. The Gayborhood, Washington Square, Rittenhouse Square, the Historic District, incredible restaurants on 13th Street, the Fashion District. If you're looking for a nice walk along the Schuylkill River trails there, and certainly Reading Terminal Market. So know that is all right within really a quick walk for you in Center City. If you want to venture a little bit west into University City, you can find two large universities there, both Drexel University, I saw some Drexel folks on the call, and also the University of Pennsylvania. There's some great places to see over there as well. Clark Park is wonderful. There's great restaurants and shopping in University City. Sierra Green is really a unique venue with a great big outdoor screen on a rooftop. The Institute of Contemporary Art is free and open to the public all of the time, so that could be a nice stop for you as well. And the Philadelphia Zoo, America's oldest first zoo, is here, and it's certainly worth a stop if you're looking for something fun to do. Maybe your family's tagging along with you and you've got littles that want something to do while you're here in Philadelphia. In addition to that, a couple other neighborhoods to know about. Fishtown, really coming up in the food scene. A couple things to note there. La Colombe, which is a Philly-originated brand. It's owned by Chobani now, but their flagship location's there. It's an awesome cup of coffee. So if that's something that you're interested in, might be worth checking that out up there, as well as Penn Street Park. and great event spaces like the Fillmore. In South Philly, I've mentioned my husband's from South Philly. Many of you will be going down there for to see the stadium, see the Phillies game. You can certainly stop by some of the touristy cheesesteak places like Geno's and Pat's. I would not say they're my favorite. And actually, for the locals that are in here, if you could enter your favorite cheesesteak in Philadelphia in the chat, give some good recommendations to everybody, that would be appreciated. My favorite is actually Dallas Sandro's, which is a little bit outside of Center City, but Jim's is aggressive. Jim, someone put Jim's and D'Alessandro's. Yeah, we got some. They're all okay. Jim Steaks is coming up. That's a good one to go check out for sure. But there's some great places if you find yourself with some extra time. And then lastly, just stay connected to Campus Philly. I really look forward to meeting so many of you at the conference. Please come up to me, please say hello, and know that we can be a resource for you. But if you want to follow along on what Campus Philly is doing, please feel free to sign up for our stakeholder newsletter. And if there are any questions at all, put them in the chat and we'll make sure we get them to you. All right, I'll leave that up there actually, just in case anybody wants to scan that.
Jen, there was a question. Will we get access to the deck? Everyone will have access to the recording and not necessarily the slide deck. So someone was interested in the slide you had up about the small business owners and the areas to visit.
Yeah, sure. So let me scoot back to that actually. So the first slide was probably, it's probably this one, I think, which is our guide to Philly. So you can scan that. You can either scan it or you can type in Campus Philly Guide to Philly and it will pop up. I'll leave that up there for a second. And then the second is this Philly Guide to Goods that we produced. And it's a whole rundown of different small businesses in the area. So if you're looking for a unique gift, you want to shop local and small while you're here in Philadelphia, check that out. We produced this guide in partnership with Citizens a few years ago, and there's some great opportunities on there. And I will also just put my email in the chat. If anybody has a follow-up question, you can feel free to reach out. All right.
Well, we are at time. Want to give another second or two to see if there's any other burning questions. And while we wait for a second, I do want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank Ray and Jasmine and Jennifer for being here and sharing your experiences and your expertise. We're so excited to see everybody soon. Come up and say hi if you see us in the hall.
Absolutely.
All right, no burning questions. We are done. Thank you. Nice to meet everyone. Well, I guess, right? Take care. Bye.